Welcome to the Live Wide Open podcast. I'm your host, Randy B. Ramirez, also known as Wide Open Randy, and I'm here to lead you to become the best version of yourself. This show helps raise the bar for all the motorsport enthusiasts, those who want more out of life, those who want to do more, those who want to be more, those who love the thrill, the joy, and the connection of what these high performance engines bring into our lives. Because holding it wide open is just what we do. Being a good person is who we are, and living our lives to the fullest is the lifestyle that we choose. Man, today we're going to be talking about eating the frog. Like, this is a concept of the concept of eating the frog is really a productivity principle that was popularized by a dude named Brian Tracy. You don't know him? Look him up. Pretty cool dude, right? And so this concept is all about tackling the most challenging tasks first in order to maximize your productivity and skyrocket your personal growth. And since we're all about becoming the best fucking version of ourselves, then mastering this principle is going to be key to your journey, especially as we balance multiple life responsibilities. We're all going to have them, right? We're all high achieving men and women who want to do more, want to be more, and we've got a lot of shit going on in our lives. And so it's going to be important to really maximize that so that you could grow, so that you could succeed, so that you could do things at a faster level than all your other people around you, right? And so eating the frog, right? Doing this first thing in the morning. Let's dive into this shit. Like, let's further even let's before we even dive in, let's further define what eating the frog really is, right? And so the origin of this phrase states that if your job is to eat a frog, then it's best to do it first thing in the morning. All right? And so this means that you're tackling your most difficult and often, more than times than none, and this is how you find them, the tasks that you procrastinate the most on. Those things that you know you need to do, but you fucking put them off, right? Like, by doing these first thing, what it does is that it builds your momentum for the rest of your day. And now let me tell you why this matters, right? It's all about proving to yourself that when you do this, you provide yourself with a psychological relief. You provide your mind with a psychological relief. And like, it works because you're eating the frog, because you're doing the thing that you don't want to do, and you do it early on. And so you're like, all right, fuck. And by the time you're done with it, you're like, man, I got that shit done. And so when we complete this daunting task early in the day, what it does is that it reduces our stress. And what it does also is that it increases our confidence as we go throughout our day, right? And so by eating the frog or doing your most challenging tasks first, you will be more focused, you're going to be more productive, and you're going to have way more fulfilling days because you're going to see like, fuck, I didn't want to do that. And then I ended up doing it. And it's still so early. I got the rest of the day. What else am I going to accomplish? Right? It's all about providing yourself with that psychological relief. And so the science behind eating the frog is all about overcoming your decision fatigue and your willpower early on in your day, right? And I don't know if you've noticed this before, but as our days go on, and if you haven't, then start paying attention to it, right? As our days go on, our ability to make decisions and exert our willpower, it decreases. Right? This is why it's way harder for you to do something that is good for you, but that you don't want to do it towards the end of the day. Right? Like, haven't you noticed that it's usually harder to stick to your diet at night? Right? That's because we are mentally fatigued at night. Right? And it's really when our willpower is at the lowest. So by tackling our difficult tasks first, this helps us to avoid our decision fatigue. And what it does is that it allows us to make better, more focused decisions. And so you see, our brain chemistry and our motivation, they're correlated. Like, they really are. They come together, right? And so when we complete difficult tasks or when we complete challenging tasks, our brain, what it does is that after you complete that, it releases dopamine. And when your brain releases dopamine, especially when it's after doing something that's challenging, something that you didn't want to do, this boosts our motivation and increases our drive for the rest of the day. This is why you feel so good when you complete a workout first thing in the morning, right? Like if you've done it, you know how fucking hard it is to accomplish that first thing in the day. Man, that's one of the most challenging things that you could do, to drag yourself out of bed early on before the sun comes up and go get that workout, right? But once you finish, not only do you feel amazing, but you set yourself up to have an amazing day. And if you're someone who is after high performance, then I highly recommend you try this, right? So let's identify your frog. Like, what is the frog in your life? Right? You're listening here for a reason. I want to help you out. Let's identify your frog, right? And so typically, it's the frog is the thing that you don't want to do, right? And it's important to recognize that your most important tasks are the ones that you should do early on, right? And you should do those in order for you to create the successes you want, right? Remember, these are the things that we're going to procrastinate. These are the things that you don't want to do. These are the things that you know that are fucking good for you, but you're like, right? And so in order for you to identify your frog, look for tasks that are important to you, but that you have to avoid them, right? Like tasks that always have the greatest impact on our goals, right? Maybe for you is getting that challenging workout in, like just how we were just talking about, right? Maybe it's having a difficult conversation at work. Maybe it's managing your finances. Maybe it's doing like maybe some training videos because you want to get the certification that, man, I've been wanting to get so I can get this next raise or so I can get this next promotion or whatever it is. Like whatever it is that you procrastinate on, usually that's the task that identifies as the frog, right? And so a prioritization technique that you can use to tackle or to prioritize your tasks that you should be doing is the Eisenhower matrix. Eisenhower, however you pronounce that, right? And so look this up, Eisenhower matrix, right? And what it is, I'm going to paint a picture for you of what it is. This is a matrix where it lists items as either as urgent versus important, right? And it helps you identify and prioritize the frog that needs to be eaten, right? And so if you're unfamiliar with this matrix, like I'm going to paint a quick mental picture for you how it looks, right? It's 4 quadrants. So imagine that you have a box, and so split this box vertically and horizontally, and now you have 4 quadrants, right? And so the top left are the tasks that are urgent and important, right? These are tasks that need immediate attention and are high of importance. Now the top right are tasks that are not urgent and important. Like these can be long-term tasks that are crucial but not time sensitive. Now at the bottom left, these are tasks that are not important and urgent. Like these are tasks that need quick action but don't, like they won't doom you like if they're not accomplished. And then the bottom right, these are tasks that are not important and not urgent, right? These are tasks that would be nice to get them done, but they're just not a priority, right? So what are some strategies that you can use for eating the frog, right? Well, the first one, which is I highly recommend for you to use this, we've talked about this before on several podcast episodes, is time blocking, right? This is where you allocate specific time to only doing the task at hand, right? Here, you would block out some time in your calendar to do the toughest task first thing in the morning, right? And you can even make this like part of your morning ritual, your morning routine, like coming back to this exercise example that we were talking about, like doing this first thing in the morning and making it part of your routine makes it a non-negotiable thing that you have to do every day as you begin your day. And so really try to time block and allocate the time and put them together with things that you're doing every day so that it becomes non-negotiable, right? And so another thing that you can do is break down what you need to do in smaller tasks. And so here, pretty much what you're doing is when you have a large, intimidating task that needs to get done, what you do is you just break it down into smaller, more manageable steps. Because when you look at things as large, big things that you have to tackle, you start getting paralysis by analysis, and you don't take action because oh my god, it's going to take this, it's going to take so long, and you start making up these excuses. And so you want to battle that. You want to break things down into smaller, manageable steps. And so, like, look, for example, like, I've been working on training for a triathlon, right? And so that is a very daunting task, right? It's a huge undertaking to train for because of the three disciplines that we need to hit every day. Um, and I said every day, but the three disciplines that you need to hit throughout your training, right? And so if you break them down into days, it becomes way more manageable, right? And I have a busy ass fucking schedule. I really do. And so even with my busy schedule, like this is what I do. And before, when I wasn't so focused on muscle building, I was just doing triathlon training, and I before I do, I would go swimming, cycling, and running. And so I would go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I restart on Thursday, swimming, bicycling, and running. And then I'd go Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday kind of would do some stretching. But what happened is I kind of plateaued in my time that I've been doing these Ironman 70.3s. And so now I understand that I need to get more strength. I need to build muscle so that I can go faster, so I can push harder, so I can have more endurance. And so now what I do is now I also do strength training in addition to triathlon training. And so that become very daunting. You're like, oh my God, how the fuck am I going to do all this training? Like, bro, I still got a life. I got a personal life. I got a job. I have this podcast. I have things that I do. Like, so you're like, how the fuck do you find enough time? I just split it down into manageable small tasks, right? And so right now what I do is Monday through Thursday, it's my strength training days. And that's when I lift weights. That's when I get fucking stronger. And then Fridays I swim. Saturdays I do the stationary bike. And then on Sundays I go for a run. And so by splitting my training up like that, I'm able to work all core areas that need to be addressed while still becoming the hybrid athlete that I want to be, right? Because I don't want to be skinny. I want to have muscle. I want to be built, but I want to be able to kill it on these triathlons. And so I need to be able to do strength training and triathlon training at the same time while still living a life, while still doing work, while still doing things. And so when I'm able to break things down into smaller, manageable tasks, I'm able to make the progress that I need to make. And so as you go through this, it's important to have an accountability and a support group. It really is, man, because the power of an accountability partner is huge. It really is. And it becomes invaluable because they help you show up when you don't want to. Nowadays, they're like, yo, I'm going to kind of skip today. Like, yo, no. Let's go. Let's show up. I do this with my wife a lot. We bounce back with each other with the accountability, right? But if you don't have one, at the very least, make yourself a checklist, like some checklist tool, some type of thing that you can go and check off every day so that you can help you stay on track, right? And you don't have to get complicated with this. Like a simple daily checklist of things that you need to do will get you a long way as long as you actually use it. I like something that I do religiously is after I do my workouts, I post that shit on my Instagram story. Like and we're like, oh, why are you doing this? I do it because of my accountability. I really is. Most of the time it's for me. Like, yeah, I want to inspire you that you're hearing and you're watching to fucking get to work and to build yourself up. But a lot of the times I don't want to show up. And I know that I told myself that I was going to fucking post this shit. And so it keeps me accountable, right? Like I'm working on my next 1,000 days. And if I don't do that, it becomes way easier for me to slip up. Like if you follow me on my story, on my IG, or I always post it on my story, and you see that every single day I post this shit. Like I'm already 100 days in, fucking baby, 100. This is crazy, like the journey that I've been on, right? And so reaching this 3-digit mark was a huge milestone for me. Fucking was. I've been working on this shit for a minute. The funny thing was that the last 10 days, more or less like 10 days, maybe 2 weeks or so, like, man, it was very challenging for me to show up every single day. Like, I was like, fuck, I don't want to do this. Oh, I'm just going to skip this. Oh, like the resistance were showing up. Like, man, my mind knew that I've been working on this for so long and it's a milestone that I've been trying to hit. And it was fucking trying to keep me from hitting it, right? It was showing up. The resistance was back to back. It was showing up. And there were a couple of days when I truly didn't want to do it. And when I wanted, like several days, I almost didn't do it. But because I had that accountability for myself, because I knew it, I was like, yo, I need to post this shit. Yo, I've been doing it. Fucking 100 days now plus. How am I not going to do this now? What is that going to show other people? I fucking did it. And now I'm here, right? Because I had the accountability system into play. And so I'm really big on this. Commitment over convenience. That's what it's all about. Right? It's all about holding yourself to a higher standard, to a higher standard than anyone else. Now repeat that one because it's fucking important. It's all about holding yourself to a higher standard than anyone else in your career, in your personal life, and everything you fucking do. If you want to be a winner, hold yourself higher, then have a higher standard than anyone else, right? It's all about overcoming the resistance and building up your habits, right? This is what's going to take your life to the next level. It really is. And a common reason why people don't follow through with the things that they need to do is because of fear. It's also because of they're trying to be perfect. They're trying to be a perfectionist. And the most common one is because of procrastination, right? So start small and just focus on the consistency. Like when you focus on the consistency, when you just focus on showing up, when you're like, man, like this 1,000 days, some days, like I'm like, fuck, bro, the things are getting tough. You know, I don't have time for this, and I'm like, yo, I'm just gonna show up. I'm just gonna take the first step. I'm just gonna go do this. And before I know it, I'm like, all right, fuck it, I'm halfway in. Let's fucking get it, right? And I just focus on showing up, just being consistent. And if I focus on it, it's 1,000 days, it becomes very daunting. But I just focus on today, focus on today, and every day I focus on today, and I'm gonna do the best I can today. And those days eventually will add up, and they turn in like, look, we're already on the 3-digit mark. I got to do this shit just 10 more times, and we'll hit that goal, right? And so know that the resistance is going to show up. It's going to be there. It's going to challenge you. And it's going to show up typically when you're about to fucking hit a goal, when you're about to level up, right? Like notice that our minds are focused on the bad. They usually are. They're focused on the bad, or they're focused on the hardest part of the situation, right? Typically when you're about to level up. But it's in that moment that you need to be able to switch your focus towards everything that is good about that situation, or towards, the outcome, or, or towards what you're trying to achieve. And if you switch your focus from everything that is bad, everything that you don't want to do, everything that seems like, it's making it impossible, to everything that's good about the scenario, about focusing on the outcome, about focusing on the person that you're being, you're going to be able to beat it, right? And so when you visualize the rewards of completion, it really becomes a lot easier for you to follow through with that. Like, look, it's always a mission for me to start my workout. I'm talking about this. It really is. People think that I love working out, man, and I fucking don't. I love the feeling you get after you finish your workout, but showing up sucks. That's probably the hardest part, right? And every time I'm gonna go fucking start that workout, my mind focuses on how hard it's gonna be. My mind focuses on how hot it's gonna be in that fucking garage, because I keep the door closed now. I used to keep the door open to kind of let some AC, but now I fucking close that shit. Like my mind is like, oh my god, man, you're gonna have to exert so much to do this workout. Like it's they're trying to focus on all the bad things to try to keep me from starting that workout, right? And in that instant, if I don't work on switching my mind, it will fucking hold me back. And so what I do is I switch my mind from how hot it's gonna be, how much I'm gonna have to exert myself on, like, bro, on all the bad shit, like, and I switch my mind and I think about how good I'm gonna feel. Like I think about how on fire my confidence is going to be after. I'm thinking about how accomplished I'm going to feel when I'm done with that. I'm going to think about how my sweat is going to be good, and I'm going to be vibing, and I'm going to be like, and I'm going to get to post that picture, right? And that truly makes a difference. I think about, like, man, how I'm going to look in a couple months when I take off my shirt. I do. Sometimes I use whatever it is, and I'm challenging you, and I'm encouraging you to use whatever you got to do to get yourself off your fucking ass, right? I think about that shit, like, I gotta get this work on him, because if I continue with this for a couple more months, and when I take off my shirt, my wife is gonna be looking at me like, damn boy. I really is. I use whatever it is. And so I think about how I'm gonna feel when I look at myself in the mirror. Like, yeah, I want my wife to look at me and desire me, and but that's more than that. Like, how am I gonna feel? How is my confidence gonna be after I show up for myself consistently? It's gonna be on fucking fire, right? And so when I focus on that, it makes it easier to follow through and just crush that workout. It's all like mindset. It really is. You've got to focus on the mind, control the mind, and then focus on building the consistency in your life, on showing up every single day. It's the small tasks that we do every day that will create the results that we're after. So remember the benefits of eating the frog first as you start your day. Let's go through them one more time, right? Number one, it increases your productivity. Number two, it reduces your stress. And number three, it gives you a greater sense of accomplishment. I'm encouraging you right now to identify the frogs in your life and then commit to tackling them first thing in the morning. My bro, you got this shit. Let's get to fucking work. Yo, I'm driving the checkered flag deep into the ground and I'm calling out all the motorsport enthusiasts who want to improve their situation. Let's break free from all the crap that's been holding us back and let's become the badass motherfuckers that we're meant to be. Breaking the stereotype is exactly what we're here to do. This movement is called Live Your Life Wide Open, and helping others level up is the mission that God has tasked us with. Join me on this journey while we empower our people to do more and to be more. If you haven't subscribed yet, man, go ahead and smash that button so you never miss another episode. And if you connected with today's episode, I'm asking you, please share this on your story and make sure you tag me at Wide Open Randy, because those are the actions that help more gearheads to see and hear about this podcast. I'll catch up with you on the next episode, but till then, live your life wide open, my friend. Peace.